Howdy, lieutenants and economists.
The most volatile, evil, disgusting things on the planet, humans. If you have a video request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com.
Yeah, I am gonna charge you, kids. And that is the importance of not fucking up.
You are such an asshole!
Hey everybody, the old captain here. We have a very short but sweet question. And if you have a question, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com. And I, the world's only professional asshole, will give you my response as long as you pay me for my time. And Charlie writes, hey Aaron, a follow-up question to your ROK, Return of Kings article. What are the signs the girl could be part of that rare 0.1%? Thanks, Charlie. And I think what he meant was 1% because I took all the girls I dated, which has been over 300, and did some real quick math, and there were only about 3 of them that were marriage material in hindsight, and even then kind of debatable. But ever so roughly, the math is 1 in 100, 1% of the women that you date, or 1% of the female population is marriage material, which is very, very low because, as you know, 1% of women is not going to be enough to make all the men happy husbands. So he wants to know what the qualities and characteristics, and this is just what I've come up with. It's obviously my opinion. It's been my experience, so this may not be for you. But I think some of these are very universal, and some of them do highly correlate with a good, reliable, quality wife. So these are in no particular order, but these are the things that I had to sit back and say, okay, what were the traits of those 3 girls? What was it about them? Of course, yes, they're physically attractive. We know that they're physically attractive. But, you know, especially when girls are younger, a good third of them are good looking. So looks is not the thing we're looking for, right? So that's a given that the girls you're going to be chasing after you're physically attracted to. So let's look at the rare qualities and traits that very few of them have, let alone all of these, and really makes up that 1% of unicorns that are out there. First, shows up on time. A woman, anybody, male or female, a person who shows up on time appreciates and has enough respect for their fellow human being because they realize they're not the only ones on this planet, and they realize that your time is just as valuable as theirs. That you're a fellow human being, golden rule. So when a girl shows up on time, it's rare, but it's also a sign that a bit of altruism, and not selflessness. It's not like she's putting you ahead of her, but she at least respects her fellow man, human, female, to say, you know what, I don't want to waste their time because that'd be very rude of me. So that's something that both men and women, especially, pretty much every generation could work on. But that's the first one that came to my mind. I was like, wow, this chick showed the fuck up on time, and there was no bullshit. So that's one I like there. Supports herself. That's another important one. Very rarely do women support themselves. They'll say they're independent. I'm an independent woman. It's like, yeah, but you're collecting a government check, alimony, child support. You're borrowing government loans, or forget you're not getting direct handouts or like EBT or anything, but you keep spending money that you don't have, and you have this massive amount of credit card debt. You are not independent. Did you file for bankruptcy? Do you have 25 grand in credit card loans? Do you have a car loan? Debt is proof you're not independent. Now, if you're amortizing it, paying it down, yeah. So what I ran into, especially when I was younger, is all these girls claim to be independent. Meanwhile, daddy was paying for their credit card or their phone or buying them a car. Well, if you get A's, we'll pay for your tuition. But if you get B's, we'll only pay 75%. Remember that bullshit? That's not independent. That's dependent by definition. So it's very rare to find a girl that 100% supports herself. And even in the 1%, I didn't see that. One gal got her career because her granddad was like the number 3 guy at this huge corporation. A third girl had parental support. So, I mean, these are not good, but this is ideally, like you see a gal and she supports herself, and it's great because they know fiscal discipline. They know how hard it is to support oneself. They know what it's like not to be a parasite. So that's a very important one there. STEM or any other kind of practical career, degree, or profession. Along the lines with supporting themselves, truly being independent, I like to see an intelligent woman. I want a gal. I want the IT nerd. I want the geek. I want that smart girl. I want the girl smarter than me. I want that chemical engineering woman that's like, wow, she's smart. I'm pretty dumb compared to her. That's sexy. Not just because they're going to make money. It has nothing to do with money. It's typically that they're smart and they're real and they're professional and they're adult. They're not some 28-year-old poppycock. I met one and she's an idiot. She wouldn't shut up about her degree and it was so stupid I forgot what it was. That's not adult. That's not real world. That's not taking a look at the world with logical, reality-based eyes and then making logical, sound decisions based in that reality that will pay dividends down the road. You see, I'd say damn well near 70% of the young people, can't even say women, 70% of young people today are naive. And they're adult children running around majoring in stupid shit. I mean, look at how many of you are going to go for Sanders or Hillary because you don't want to live in the real world. You want other people to pay for your shit. Okay. So when you see a woman majoring in STEM or being a professional like... I don't mean just to be STEM, but accounting, the military. I don't know where I am on women in the military, but I do know the ones I've met that were in the military had their fucking shit together. Doctors, dentists, something where it's not like, hey, I'm doing hair. You know, like, okay, thanks. You go major in hair or salonistry. Not to say that, you know, if a woman is a salonist, it's bad, but I would, yeah, you definitely want to see a real job and a serious woman. She's going to be pretty, that's a given, but it does not affect her psyche. This gets into the hot crazy matrix that lawyer did, and this is a hard one to find, but you'll have a girl who's beautiful or pretty, and she will have not let society affect her psychology, let her think she's arrogant or allowing her to be arrogant or entitled or dismissive of holier than thou. This usually requires the father is around or the mother came in and explained, hey, just because you're good looking doesn't make you any better. And it's also a personal testament to their psychological resolve, their personal psychological choice to not become arrogant or cocky, to not let all the opportunities that having female beauty grants them and then taking that for granted. So it's very rare, but it does happen. Logic. And this is key because it results in no petty arguments. Like when you walk into your house and you're dating this girl, the vast majority of arguments are over illogical, emotional bullshit. And I don't care how much she's crying or how much she's stammering her feet. Pretty much every debate I've ever had, argument I've ever had with a woman, they were wrong and I was right. And I know that sounds like an incredibly cocky and arrogant statement, but no, it was like, what are you crying about? Well, no, we're not going to go visit your mother. It's because we don't have money. It has nothing to do. It's like, I just told you we don't have money. I mean, I could fall asleep soundly that night because it's true. We don't have the money. And I'm just giving you an example. I don't even think I really ever had that argument. But I do know where I'm looking, maybe I'm just an evil, cold bastard, and I don't understand women. But the women that were in that 1%, there was no arguing. It was pleasant. It was calm. It was peaceful. There wasn't like, what the fuck are you doing now? Like, there was none of that. And it's just because they're logical. They know what's important. They don't get worked up about things that don't matter. Actually, I know a young lady out in San Diego, very much like this, and you should see how her and her husband operate. She supports him. She's logical. She's sane. She makes wise decisions. And if there's a problem, there's absolutely no emotion. It's just like, well, what happened? What were you gonna? Oh, that's okay. And then they figure it out. So that is another one that was universally present in that 1%. Is there's no drama, there's no bullshit, and there's no arguments. And it's because they have logic and reason, and they just, I don't know what it is with the other women, but yeah, these gals didn't have that bullshit. Sex. She enjoys sex. All right, and the reason for this is twofold. One, women who don't like sex, there's something psychologically wrong with them. I know you can say you have your tastes and preferences, but it's not a good flag when the woman doesn't like sex. Every time I've ran into a woman that doesn't like sex, not only is it not beneficial for me, there's always been some kind of psychological trauma. Some of it very sad, very, very sad. One girl I dated, I'm like, that I won't even say what happened. It was horrible. So that much I did understand why she didn't like sex, but there's usually something wrong there on the psychological level if women don't like sex. And related to that, the second reason is that they will tend to use it as a weapon then. So there's, for women who really don't like it, there's a psychological correlation with problems as well. But then also women who don't like sex or then use it as a weapon to get extract resources out of you, or use it to negotiate. They don't give it up willingly because they don't like it. No. Fuck no. And frankly, this is one of the things where I know a lot of religious people would disagree with me, but this is why you don't date a woman that won't have sex. You're going to have premarital sex. That is probably the number one thing for men in dating and love life is the sex good? Are you an attractive woman? I know you girls don't like to hear it, but it's true, so tough shit. But yeah, the girl must like having sex. She's like, let's go. She's like grabbing you, and so you absolutely need that. One of the three did not have it. She was like, oh no, I don't. So that's kind of was a big thing why we broke up. Closely parallel to the sex is she enjoys lingerie, and what that means is, okay, it is somewhat tied to sex, but it's more that she enjoys being feminine. Women, there are two camps of women. Women who hate lingerie, and then women who like lingerie. And the women who hate lingerie hate being feminine, and the ones that like lingerie like being feminine. And I like dating a feminine woman. That's why I date women, not men. And nothing to besmirch our gay brothers and sisters out there. So I've used that a lot, like, hey, you better put on something sexy, or, the old betting tactic, many different ways you can get girls in lingerie. But if you get any resistance, like, well, I find it degrading, that's a big red flag. Well, that's degrading. I remember one gal, I thought I was in love. Oh, foolish Cappy. When Aaron was young and happy and naive and stupid, and then life just went, and then he came out all badass motherfucker. One girl, I was head over heels. I'm like, this is the one. And then I even saved the letter to this day because it reminded me that you could think you got one of the 1%, but it's just something like that where you're like, whoa. And she's like, I find it degrading that you want to have me serving you drinks in some kind of French-made lingerie outfit. It's like, yeah, I guess I didn't think about that one. You would probably not be that fun to be with. So you gotta look out. That's a big one right there. I'd almost say the lingerie test would probably be as important as whether her dad is around, which is what we'll get to next. But yeah, that lingerie is a good way to test, along with the premarital sex. Another thing, this is what a lot of these girls did. They did things for me on random, like just nice things. One girl kind of set up a surprise birthday party for me. Another girl just made me dinner. It's just kind of weird, just all of a sudden they thought of something clever or cute or creative, and they made something for you. One girl sent me flowers at work, even though it was like, I'm a guy, but it was still nice. That's a very rare thing you will not see in a lot of women. But that other women who were not in the 1% did that. And so, that's something that is rare, though. Dotes on you when you are sick. Okay, or just dotes on you in general, which is great, but you like it, if you're sick and you're wiped out, all of a sudden there she is with chicken noodle soup, or she's making a lasagna or something, or just, tending to you, or picking up your house, without even not with you asking, like, they just show up, like, are you alright, do you need anything, and then they're over there cleaning. That has happened, but again, only the 1%. So that's another good sign. You don't want her kissing your ass either, but if it's just that natural female thing, like, my God, this guy is sick, and I have to take care of him. So that natural, it means, again, she's feminine, she's a real woman, and she just wants to make it. It's nice. It's nice to be loved. Here's a very, very, very key one. Her dad is still around, and both her and her father have a good relationship. I cannot tell you, this is probably the most important and determining thing. Boy, shows up on time, dad is around and has a good relationship and supports herself. Those are all really good ones, but this one is up there. I don't know which is the best, but if you've met the dad, and you'll know the dad is like, he doesn't have to be the coolest guy on the face of the planet, but he has to be a dad, and they have to have a good relationship, and they love their dad. That is a huge determining variable. And the ones that I've known, the girls I've dated whose dads have been around, oh God, they almost become your own second dad, and you end up liking the dad more than you do the girl. You're like, you want to go fishing? Hi. No, we'll just drop her off, and we'll go. You want to go get a beer? So that's a big one there too, and you'll get along with the dad. The dad will be like, "Hey, how you doing?" And you're like, "Hi," and you're just like, "Wow, that's a cool guy. That's like this manly guy that I want to become." Another one, and this isn't necessarily a perfect correlation, but it does get to that 1% or maturity. It does speak a lot of things. Her politics are simply not leftist. She's either a Republican, a conservative, or libertarian, or maybe is even apolitical. And the reason why, as long as she isn't a leftist, that means that she knows that humans are the most important thing, and that she is not going to put the state ahead of a personal relationship, either with you or any future children or family you guys might have. And I know a lot of women are just naive and it's just like, I'm here for the children, but they don't realize how they stab their family in the back when they vote for an increasing state, because now I got to pay more in taxes, and that makes it harder to raise children, let alone spend time with each other and have a good time. Oh, hang on, I gotta kill a spider. Oh, he dropped. He'll assassinate me in my sleep later somewhere. Have I dated girls who were Democrats or leftists that were loving and caring? One. But she was naive. I don't think she realized or went to the concept. But by this age, by your age, I know you're younger than me, but you're not like an 18-year-old. I really would have a hard time personally dating a gal that's a leftist, because I'm like, sorry, you're stabbing me in my back. One action is you love me, the next action is you steal from me. To help out people that aren't even us. To give it to random people so you feel good about yourself. Plus, being a Republican, conservative, libertarian, or just a non-leftist shows genuine independent thought on the part of women. I mean, the brainwashing and the mindless lemmings and sheepling that these girls do, for the number of women that claim to be independent-minded, boy, they sure don't think critically. They sure just swallow whole and do exactly what they've been told and think exactly what they've been told to think. So that's kind of like, okay, cool, you're a thinker, you're a philosopher, you're independent-minded, you're logical, you're reasoned, you're evidence-based, you're empirical, and so that's another quality or trait there. And then finally, they don't put their career first. That they use their career to live life. They value human beings more than they do a career. And that could be their family, their friends, your potential family that you might have with it, you if you're dating. This isn't to say that if you're sick, she quits her job and dotes on you. I'm not saying that, because you need money. There's a lot. You don't give up a career. Career is very important. But the number one thing is not like they don't value themselves based on their career that much. Like, it is their friends and their family and the humans that surround them that they derive the most fun and definition from. And you could derive some merit or worth or definition of agency from your career. But the ones I'm talking about are the ones like, it was that same 28-year-old I met. Like, she's like, well, I got to get my MBA and I got to make 6 figures. Yeah, da-da-da-da. It's like, wow, I don't want to have anything to do with you. Because if they put their career first, you're not going to be first. That's just how it is. And so, if they're putting their career first, you or any would-be children are going to be second, third, or fourth. And if they're Jesus freaks, fifth. And if they are Hillary Clinton feminist supporters, fourth, fifth. And they really like their mom more than anyone else, seventh. I mean, you can really get knocked down there. So that's it. Those are the qualities, characteristics, and traits that are in the rare 1%. And even then, not even all the 1% have those. These are just the very, very rare qualities and traits women have. I don't think any woman on the planet has all of these, but I've seen some that are pretty darn close and have the vast majority of them. And but definitely that father thing, the lingerie test, no arguing, shows up on time, and I really do like it when women support themselves. I really, really, really do enjoy that, because it's like, wow, you're your own person. In that case, a career is a good thing, because like, oh, you're kind of doing something. It's when it's like, I have to do that. I'm a fucking vice deputy director of this nonprofit, especially as one of those fucking bullshit, I'm a nonprofit or social work. It's not a career. So, anyway, hope that helps and gives you a little bit of context. Don't read it verbatim, black and white. I'm just saying this is ideal. This is theory world, not necessarily real world. But best of luck to you anyway. Toodles.